Okay, guys. Hey, let me tell you something. It's frustrating when unfortunate situations such as these happen. Okay, you order your debit card because you lost your original one, unfortunately, right? Which is completely nobody's fault but your own, right? But before the date that your bills are due, you accidentally cancel your debit card. Before paying your bills, your intentions were to make all the payments that were needed to be made before officially canceling your lost or stolen card, which in my case, it was lost. At least from my understanding, because I spend most of my time indoors. Okay, so you pay $5 to urgently order a new one, only for it to show up late. So you thought. When really, it did not show up late. It was just placed somewhere other than your actual mailbox, which was the package room. Unfortunately, the package room doesn't have a label that's like does not label as package room. Like it doesn't have like the little label on it that says package room. So therefore, if the mailman walks in, he really doesn't know if it's a package room. They have to be like the kind of people that sort of have been here before and really know like, okay, this is the package room, right? Which might be for a great reason, perhaps, so that no one will steal the packages. But then you wonder, well, how would anyone other than a tenant even be able to get in there without the key? You really don't know. Once you once you realize how powerful your question might be, you're like, no, let's just leave it alone. I don't even want to imagine anybody getting in there. We have a pretty secure security system. Things can be tricky, but the security system seems or is pretty strong. So let's leave it at that. I guess you never know what could happen, so you leave it alone. Repeat. Okay, so the package was finally retrieved at a too late of a time because I then have already ordered a new card to come in, as I told you guys in my last video. So with that being said, oh my God, guys, I just literally typed that up and okay, I hate to burst. I hate to like literally, what is it called? I hate to I hate to ruin it for you, but I literally wrote a script because I'm a writer. Like I want to do writing. I want to practice like writing as a sport. I think it's a pretty great way to tell your story and just certain things like changing the way you talk, and I'm practicing. So I think we did a pretty great job, and it was pretty addictive doing it and actually reading it. Writing is such a great craft, y'all. But anyways, but let me just let you know, and God, Eden has definitely got me a lot of like in his and his angels have definitely gotten me all the tools that I need to really be a great writer. And I actually like passed the test of being a writer at Columbia University. So I think I'm going to do really good when I become completely like 1000% prepared. Like looks are deceiving. I look good. I'm ready, but I'm not really ready like I used to, like I can be. Like, you know what I mean? Like just ready. Anyways, physically we'll say that just because I'm still working on the tension in my body. So we go to Wells Fargo's because I'm like, okay, we're about to go open up another bank account because Wells Fargo is right in front of my door, right in front of my apartment complex. And so it's so much easier to be able to just run to Wells Fargo versus going all the way to Chase Bank in case anything happens. I'm thinking having two bank accounts might be a great idea in case of any emergency. You just want to always have at least two bank accounts open, right? It's only what, like $5 for a service fee or $10? No big deal, right? So I'm like, okay, let's do that. I go to Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo is unfortunately running out of staff members. They're low on like applicants and they don't have that many workers. So every time you go there, they're only going by appointment only. It wasn't their fault the first time when I missed my appointment, but the second time it was because suddenly all of a sudden, like they're like, oh, somebody called in and they say they were going to be sick. And they said they can't come to work. And I'm like, oh my God, today I'm actually on time. And you're telling me that somebody called in. And the guy had already told me like somebody was going to call in. I mean, if somebody calls in, we'll call you. So I'm like, oh, so does this happen a lot? So it's like, as much as I do want to be like a part of Wells Fargo, just because I do need that extra bank account just in case of an emergency, I'm still like, I don't want to like put my money at Wells Fargo's bank just because they're low on staff and they're not like ready. I don't like making fun of businesses, right? I never like to say like, oh, that's a piece of shit bank. No, I would never say that. Like, my past experiences were pretty good, but I have a feeling like they might be like, you know how banks do. They sort of take money, like, especially when that, like, they borrow money from the actual like banker, people that bank there, and then they end up paying them the money back later. So Wells Fargo, like, my sister told me Wells Fargo had lost some people's money, but then it gave it back or whatever, which is, things happen. Things happen. It's unacceptable, of course, but I'm just not the kind of person that's going to be like, you know, oh, you're terrible, because I know how hard it is to run a business. I'm going to be running a business one day, and I would love for people to kind of, excuse me for some of the behavior if anything happens wrong, right? So I don't like to laugh at like business owners or make fun of them or be like, oh, you're not good, you're not doing a great job, because look at how far they've come. They've done so great so far, and even if they might, be struggling in their business, this is a part of life. People struggle in businesses. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what their issue is. Like, even me, like, I'm not a perfect person. I'm not a perfect Christian, but I never did like bad things to people, but bad things happen to me. So bad things could happen to all sorts of people. And it's like, I don't want bad things to happen to me. And I do understand why bad things did happen to me when they did happen to me. And we'll talk more about that later. And that's mainly just, cheating on God, basically, and being with everybody else except for him, which it wasn't my fault, but I got punished for that, even if it wasn't my fault. So we'll talk into that later. Anyway, so we go to Wells Fargo and they tell me, oh, we can't do. I'm angry at this point. I'm like, oh, I came all the way this way. Anyway, I had to go over there to talk to the bank. I had to go get some direct deposit, stuff signed and this and that. And so, the only reason why I was going to apply for Wells Fargo Bank, it's not only because it's right next door, but they're also paying like people $300 just to open an account. As long as they keep they have direct deposit, at least $1,000 deposited every month in their account. They'll get, for 3 months, they'll get that $300, which is not a bad way to earn a little extra cash, especially if you're not working like literally, like, unless, like, I'm a content creator, but if you're not working, then there's nothing wrong with earning a little extra cash. But I'm just like, I just don't want to like bank with them because I'm angry at this point. I'm mad and I want to I just don't want to deal with it, because if they're making me angry already, then I'm just going to keep getting mad. Like, there's going to be one thing after the other coming up, and nobody's really ready. They just closed down one branch over across the street. What I loved about, and I think the reason why they're closing these branches is because they over open. And what I loved about Wells Fargo was they had so many branches where you didn't have to worry about looking for where your bank is. That's what I loved about it. And that's why I don't knock it, because I wish they did have more Chase Bank branches, because then it makes it easier for you to get to your to get cash or get to your bank or whatever. But now that we have Apple Pay and all this stuff, we don't have to worry about running to the bank to get cash out. We can, there are so many other things. And plus, I don't walk around with cash like that. So that's the issue. That's all that happened today, and that was frustrating. I don't want to do Wells Fargo. I don't want to deal with it. I want Wells Fargo to take care of their business and take care of their stuff before I invest a little money that I do have in them, and then something happens and I can't get a hold of my money. Also, before, they had charged me for a satellite dish and said I didn't pay when I had never even had a satellite dish in my life. So I'm thinking, are they doing fraud, or is something going on? Something in my spirit has been telling me like maybe they're stealing money or they're doing something, but I don't know that for sure. But that's just something in my spirit, because they put something on my account where it was like saying that I owed money for a satellite dish that I never even owned, because I never even owned my own apartment until now. So for them to say that, and then look, this branch is closed down. So I'm just like, I'm going to stick with Chase Bank. And I like Chase Bank anyway. I used to work for Chase Bank, and I think it's more ready.